Cash Grab, where we all look very happy. It's good to have you here. This is the podcast where we take movie and TV franchises that have been turned into video games and decide, are they a cash grab or are they not? My name's Tom.
I'm Steph.
I'm Adam.
I'm Dan.
How's about that for an intro, guys?
That's my favourite.
Pretty professional, huh?
Yeah, it was fucking great.
And how about doing it on the first try?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Impressive.
Cheers.
Yeah.
We all look very happy, to be fair. If
I'm
cold.
I'm happy now.
It is a bit cold. Like we've said before, we live in a small place, not known to many people, called Great Britain. And in Great Britain, it's often quite cold, especially in November, which is the month we're currently living in. So we're quite cold.
Yeah,
So
and the
that's-
heating broke in the studio.
Yeah.
Our very expensive studio.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, so Dan, we haven't seen you for a few weeks. How are you getting on?
I've been doing good. Haven't been playing any games. Have not had the time.
Well, that's that chat done. Adam.
We're drinking beer today, by the way.
Don't drink and drive.
They're watching a podcast.
I'm
Dan.
just saying.
Oh, well, people do have smartphones these days, which...
Oh yeah, people do have smartphones. It's crazy. Isn't it?
No, it's true. I hear that...
It's true.
No, I hear
Believe
that,
it or not, guys.
I hear that people can, access things like YouTube, like you're currently watching us on.
Potentially they might be listening to
on
us
their
on SoundCloud or iTunes.
Yeah, but I can hear they can access all of these things on their phone, even while in the car. So, I mean...
It's crazy, isn't it? What a world to live in.
So Dan's got a good point. Don't drink and drive.
Different point. Yeah, so I finished Black Flag. It was, oh my god. I will say one thing. I remember the hardest part of that game was the credits, because I just had this sort of like challenge going on. It's like
The credits.
the credits started, and I'm just sitting there going, I like that game. It's a good game. And I was like, yeah, I'll wait for the credits, and then...
Is this where you stare out of a window for a while?
Well, that is literally what it was. I didn't need any window because I was there for like 40 minutes. And I was like, this is ridiculous. How long did it go on? I know Ubisoft.
Is this at the beginning or the end of the game?
The end.
So why are you... like, if it's at the beginning, fair enough, I can understand. You're going to sit there because you want to play the game. At the end of the game, why are you watching the credits?
Because
I've never met him.
because it's going to stop, and then there's going to be like the little parts that I need to finish up, which is hardly anything because I'm 100% completionist.
The credits are
Did you get the
always
platinum?
my
Yeah.
time
Well, no,
to
of course I
make a
didn't, 'cause
coffee
it's multiplayer. Fuck multiplayer.
and have a sit
Oh, is there a
down.
multiplayer platinum?
I know, it's ridiculous. I'm just like,
I know we're having two conversations.
Shit.
I'm just saying, I hate multiplayer. It's the bane of my life. That's no, especially when it comes to
Anyway,
awards. Yeah.
What were you two chatting about?
I said the credits are always my time to make a coffee and have a sit down.
Well,
I always play my game standing up, you see, and it can be a real
Killer on the knees.
a real gitter on the leg. Gitter? What's a gitter?
Gitter.
It's like Twitter for gits. I'm a bit of a git.
See, I like it when there's a credit system that like brings back memories of the game. So I think like Final Fantasy 15, as you go through, you save pictures that Prompto takes.
Yes.
And during the credits, they show the pictures that you saved, and it's really cool
Very
to
nice.
see like,
Very
yeah,
nice,
because it's
yeah.
like a 40-hour game or whatever. To be like, oh look, I was here, and then blah blah, and you see the adventure go through again but quicker.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, I like that. That was pretty good. So I watched all of them.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey had good credits, so I watched all of them. Yeah.
I started the first 5 minutes and I was actually reading the credits and I was reading everyone that was involved and I got a bit into it. But then it got ridiculous because
I don't
Ubisoft
think
is
you're meant
massive.
to get into it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, someone's.
It's
I'm
there.
sit-
It's there purely for the sake of the company having to register all of their employees.
I know, but it's interesting because someone has to watch it. There must be someone, and maybe it's just me.
It's usually the people that have been involved with the game.
There's my name.
Yeah, and they just
That's
like
me.
get all their family around. They're like, there you go. And they're like, they misspelt Dave.
Yeah.
No, I was also looking out. I was
It
looking out
says-
for.
Yeah. It says,
It says James.
It
Are you
says
sure that's you?
now I gave birth to you, and I'm no doctor.
I mean, it's interesting looking at like the voice actors of the cast of that, and then what companies were involved in the casting. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to wait for it all, and then eventually it just became a personal vendetta because I felt if I stood up after half an hour before it ended, and it was going on for far too long, I would cave and I'd be the loser. And fuck them, I'm not going to lose. I sat through the entire thing.
This is starting to sound quite like a mental health disorder, Dan.
I know, it was a really hard time of my life.
I think I
Dan's
would have
been
skipped
well.
them. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't play much. I was just sitting and watching the credits of Black Flag for 2 weeks.
That's
Nice.
Good. That's good. It's good to have you here. Welcome back.
Should I go?
I've not got any credit-based stories, I'm afraid.
That's a shame.
I've gone back to playing Hunt's Call of the Wild because I bought a bow. And
Oh,
it's
you
a
did?
fucking
In
sick
the
bow.
game?
No, in real life.
In the real life, you bought a bow.
Yeah.
After you made a
The
bow.
real life.
After I made 2 bows, yeah.
So you made 2 bows, then you bought a bow,
I've just bought a bow.
and now
waiting
you've
for
gone
it
back
arrive.
to a hunting game.
At first, I thought you said boat.
Yeah, because I've still not made a boat. That's next
Very
on the
difficult to
list.
shoot
Yeah,
arrows with.
he's got a small pond.
Even
so-
harder to aim it as a hare.
Well, after hunting deer, you were like, now I'm going after whales.
Up my game.
So yeah, no. I bought a bow and I thought, you know what? I'm going to practice before the bow gets here by shooting some animals with a bow in virtual reality.
Wait, you're going to
So
go
you've
out
got-
and shoot animals?
You've got VR.
No.
I hope you're not going to go out and shoot some actual animals.
Well, it depends how good I get, Dan. Jesus.
Depends what comes in his garden.
You could always hunt the deadliest game.
Ooh, humans.
You could do like a battle
Don't
royale.
do that, Ad.
Wait,
Because then we'd
it's-
have to explain why you're in prison.
It is
And we've got
illegal
it
to
recorded.
shoot humans.
Well, we've got this pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also
Pre-recorded?
illegal to shoot anything with a bow.
It will be pre-recorded once
You
it's on the
can kill,
internet.
right?
True.
You can hunt like a squirrel, rabbit, anything with a slingshot in this country. You can't kill
That's
anything
true.
with a bow.
It's true.
That's weird.
I know, odd. And I've got this fucking
What's
annoying
the
pigeon
law
at the end
on,
of my garden. Really hard.
The only reason you bought the game, made the bows, didn't
no,
it?
I've got an air rifle for the pigeon.
Oh no.
What's the law on strangling avian life? Is there a law on strangling?
I'm pretty sure it's frowned upon.
I think if you can beat it in a fist fight, you can do it.
That's my rule. That's my rule. Don't plagiarize my system.
Sadly, when that moth overpowered you, it was quite horrible to watch.
Well, it kind of had a domino effect on the rest of the natural order of life. You know, I thought, well, I definitely can't take a cow,
No,
so better stop eating them.
Not many people can take a cow. They're
big.
they're worrying.
No. See, people.
You walk into the middle of a
people
herd
always
and they all
misjudge.
together they just go.
People always misjudge. People always think you can't beat up a cow.
Oh,
With a cow, gain its trust. That's the first thing with a
Wait,
cow.
what?
Gain its trust. Gain the trust of the cow. Then all you do, take its back, and then like rear naked choke. So one hand around like that, rear naked choke, and just hang on for dear fucking life while it kicks and writhes. Choke it out, kill it, and
Do we have to put out a disclaimer?
Yeah,
Like, this
we
is
don't.
we don't
advocate.
advise.
we don't actually go
strangling
around killing cows.
No.
Or
I
pigeons.
practice on children.
What me? My phone is magnetic.
Oh, wow!
That's so fucking cool.
That's incredible.
Well, the Motorola stands out again.
Very futuristic, much like what's coming ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
what
Tom,
have you been?
Steph, Tom, what have you been playing?
Well, Steph, I've been playing.
Gwent.
No. What have I been playing?
Dead
Resident
Space.
Evil.
Hang on, I'm having a fucking.
Resident Evil.
No, maybe. Have I? No.
The Witcher.
Oh, I was playing a Oddworld.
Babes, that's
New
it, yeah,
and
that's
Tasty.
it, yeah.
Oh.
I finished it, but this is I've got right. Look, I'm putting my beard down for this. So basically, right, there is 2 endings to the game: good ending, bad ending.
Yes.
So it all depends on how many Mudokons you save. Mudokon is what Abe is.
Yes.
So it's how many of his fellow compatriots you save. So I saved 149 out of 300.
And it's 150 to get the good
It's
ending.
150 to get the good ending.
Oh, that must burn. Oh, that's a.
It does a bit, because once you complete the game, that's it. There's no retrying stages, there's no nothing. So my only course of option is to play it from the fucking beginning, in the hopes of saving one more than I did last time.
Do you think you're going to do it?
I don't know.
No.
It was hard enough getting 149. No, I fucked up the whole beginning because I saved like 20 in the beginning, and that was everyone on the list. But then when I escaped from Rupture Farms,
Throw a grenade down there.
no, when I escaped from Rupture Farms, it then said 50 have been killed, and I was like, but I saved everyone. There are 6 like hidden little platforms, and literally they're behind things, so you can't see them. And there are like loads hidden inside these places that are unaccounted for. So there's so much bullshit. There's so much fucking bullshit. So
So you're not happy.
I'm not unhappy. I'm not happy.
Okay. You're neutral.
Steph, have you been playing Mario Odyssey?
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
you fucking have.
Yeah, I completed the storyline of it, and I've unlocked the next bit. And yeah, fucking great.
It's an amazing game. And
Yeah.
if you have watched our previous episodes, you'll be saying, hang on a minute, Tom said it's an amazing game. I thought he called him Rapist Mario and all this other stuff, and I thought he was been slating Mario, so it's true. And I take it all back. I hold my hand.
I fucking
up.
told you.
Well, you've been making that gradual U-turn.
Yeah,
quite some
well,
time,
it's
haven't you?
it's much like Kevin Spacey,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
where
God, I wasn't even gonna
you know
mention
you're given an aspect of bad publicity, and you think, how should I work around this? So I like Mario Odyssey because I'm gay.
Fair enough. It's a great game.
Not even.
That's like
But it-
that's
yeah,
my
it's-
16th Kevin Spacey joke.
They
Oh,
said that
episode.
they said that it's like about a quarter of all Switch owners have bought it already. Mario Odyssey.
I read an
So it's
So
the fastest-
75% don't want it. Shit game, innit?
A third.
He's got a point.
A third of Mario Odyssey of Switch owners have bought it.
Yeah, it's a third. Like what? 2/3 that haven't?
He has got a point. 66% of Switch owners
In
don't own
like
the game.
in like a week, a third of
oh,
them bought
in a
it.
week. That is quite.
Don't go over to his side.
A fucking week. That basically means that a third of Switch owners pre-ordered the game.
Hey, how about we're all right? How about there are no losers here?
No, I'm just pissed.
Everyone's
Yeah.
a winner.
I'd buy
It's
it
about
if I had
taking
a
part.
Switch.
Do you have a Switch?
No, I don't.
I'd recommend it. It's
I read
great.
an interesting article that said Nintendo blames the success of the Switch on the failure of the Wii U. I didn't read the actual article. I read the headline and said, that's an interesting article.
Totally agree.
And then just
Yeah.
swiped.
The funny way to phrase it, they blame the success.
Yeah.
That's sort of like put themselves down a bit. It's like, we didn't think it was going to be that great,
It's
but
like, I was
because we
hoping we'd
fucked
go
up
back
last time.
Anyway, I don't think Nintendo will ever go bankrupt. They have too much money.
No,
Anyway,
ridiculous.
shall we get on to the episode?
Let's do it.
Let's.
So today we're doing Alien Resurrection.
We are indeed.
Yeah, Switch is number 4. in the
This is number
series.
4. Yeah, we normally try and start at the beginning, but fuck it, we went for number 4.
It's
Yeah.
very difficult to procure games from the early Alien franchise.
Yeah, it's like Commodore 64,
Yeah.
ZX Spectrum.
Yeah.
There's the Alien trilogy on the PlayStation 1, but then
Yeah.
that's supposed to be 1, 2, and 3, but then apparently it mostly follows 2,
Because it's the best one.
so I just went for the named one,
Yeah.
Alien Resurrection.
You're right.
No.
So yeah,
Aren't you glad we did?
yeah. So
Yes.
we watched Alien Resurrection, the director's cut, just to let people know that that's what we done, just in case.
So glad we watched the director's cut. I mean, I can't imagine what the other one must have been like.
Probably shorter
Probably
and
shorter.
more to the point.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. The cinema
like
release was
every
probably...
director's cut, it's just full of fluff and shit.
Oh, blood.
You
So,
Yeah.
when did this film come out?
This
So-
film came out in... Sorry, Tom, did you want to go for this one?
No.
Go and take it. You got the notes and everything. So I just
Should we
wanna-
do half
I was
and
gonna
half?
wing
I'll
it.
do the month and you do the year.
Okay.
This film-
1990s.
It did not work that well, did it?
Fuck's sake.
I thought we'd go year first.
Should we,
Why would you go year first?
Because we're setting the scene, so we're zooming in. So it goes year, month, week, day.
All
Hour.
right, let's do it your way.
1997.
November.
I
Would you
really
like to do
wish.
the day
No,
now?
I don't know the day.
The 26th day
I
of
was-
November.
I was really hoping that, like, after that whole thing, Adam then went, so November.
Yeah, so the November the 26th, 1997 was when it was released. That is the North American release, by the way. Sorry, I was speaking into my beer bottle. Makes me sound like an android from the film.
I don't know. Did
No,
we
they
ever
don't sound
see
like that.
an android?
We did.
They sound
We
like
did.
humans. They
No,
look like
well,
humans.
They didn't-
we
they-
suspect we've seen an android.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Let's be honest.
it feels quite obvious.
But anyway, so Alien Resurrection, as the title suggests, it's a resurrection of the franchise, being that Ripley died, and everyone thought, well, yeah, spoilers for previous films. So Ripley died, and everyone's like, well, if Sigourney Weaver's dead, then surely the franchise is dead. You thought wrong.
Wrong. By the way,
We'll see you on the next one.
yeah. We'll just say now, none of us can remember the plot to Alien 2 or 3.
No.
No.
So, yeah.
Well, I remember Aliens, the second one.
Okay.
But Alien 3 is obviously where she dies, but Alien 3, in my mind, was a film so bad that I blocked it out of memory.
It's one that I want to watch again because apparently it's not as bad as we all think it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's be optimistic. It's probably
Gonna be bad.
shit.
Well, I've never seen Aliens 2 or 3.
Have you seen Alien?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
but even then, I was never.
Aliens is good.
Yeah,
I've never been a big fan of the whole franchise to begin with. To be honest,
That's all right. It's
You've
no
only
shame.
seen the first one.
I know, but it just
But in
never,
fairness,
never
the first
struck
one
me.
To be
is-
fair, I don't. After
if you're
Alien
not-
Aliens, I think I've seen them all. I don't remember 3. I don't remember 4.
I'm guessing.
I've seen
Uh,
Prometheus.
Prometheus
That was
was
a pile of
boring,
Absolutely.
and Alien Covenant. If you haven't seen that, I would recommend you just don't bother.
Alien vs Predator though.
Oh shit.
need to see that.
That had a game before the film.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be something to explore.
Interesting.
Mm.
Future episodes. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people are ready for that. They're just thinking of it now. Like,
This
"Oh,
guy beginning
shit."
just doing this to Alien vs Predator.
Straight away as soon as you heard the premise of the film of the podcast.
AVP.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So this film is a bit weird.
Well, it's like so. It starts
Coming
off.
up with ideas left, right, and centre. Predator, Concrete Jungle. We've got to play Predator. That was a fucking.
Yeah,
Yes.
Concrete Jungle's not based on a film though.
Yeah, but it's Predator.
Is it
It's the
loosely
franchise.
based? Anyway,
No.
let's
The
talk
second
about
one,
Resurrection.
It's loosely based
No.
on the second one.
Yeah,
because the
that's
second
what I
one's
thought.
based in a city.
Because it's.
I don't
It is.
It is.
The second
It's
one
in
is
New
based in
York.
a city.
But there's a Predator 2 game.
Oh, well then they
let's
will
play
do that.
then.
But we will play Concrete Jungle because it's class.
It's a
Yeah.
class game.
So, Alien Resurrection, it starts off with what I imagine in 1997 was considered innovative CGI, with a fly.
It wasn't
makes
a
it
fly.
makes it makes you believe it's
Yeah, some sort of weird bug.
Like
It wasn't a fly though. 'cause it had,
grasshopper-y
like,
type of thing.
ridiculous teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Because
turned
you're
into like some
supposed to
graph
think
hopper.
because it's so far zoomed in, you just see its teeth. You're supposed
Yeah.
to think like this
it's
is
Alien.
this is a queen sort of thing. And
The Alien Queen.
the alien
Yeah,
queen.
sorry.
This isn't just a really camp fly.
I'm glad you interrupted me then. I was about to go off on one. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but then it zooms out and you see it's this funky ass fly. But I thought I was watching footage from the game.
Yeah.
The CGI is so bad.
Yeah, it does look
Yeah.
like
What it was.
old video.
I mean,
Cockroach
keep
or-
it in mind, this is 1997. And I mean,
Yeah.
CGI was in its relative infancy. Sorry, it was in its relative infancy at this time. So I mean, you know, we can give it that. It was a fair attempt for 1997. But the thing is that it confuses us straight off the bat because it has this meaningless scene with perhaps the most disgusting human being I've ever seen.
yeah.
who squashes this fly, then disgusts himself by his own act of squashing a fly.
Yeah, why would you? It just didn't make sense what
Yeah.
he was actually doing.
Then kind of puts the fly corpse inside a straw.
And then fires that out the window, so then the corpse smashes against the window.
Yeah.
After pressing his lips against pretty much like the corpse and the mucus, and I was like,
No, I think he put it in the bottom of the straw and then
Yeah.
No,
spat it.
he
No,
put
he
it
spat
in
on the same
top of
side.
straw.
Yeah.
And just put his mouth
But
right
you see,
around
this
that.
is
he
this is
wanted
the
all
thing.
the passage of the straw to gain momentum. But I was like, you've just put your lips around
Extra
that.
flavour.
But you
for
see,
his
this is-
big
this-
slurp, whatever the hell he's drinking.
This is the problem with films such as this that tried to set a scene when CGI was a new thing, because it's just there as a set piece to show off CGI. It's there as a set piece to show that they can have a purely computer generated bug, have it squashed, look realistic, then shot at a screen, and then back out into like a space setting with a space station.
Right. The problem here is it isn't shot out into space, though, is it? It's
No.
shot
Onto
2
a
foot
window.
in front of him onto the
No.
window.
The camera shot.
Oh, sorry.
The shot is there. It's setting the scene. It goes from this terrible CGI thing, this terrible, pointless scene of him spitting out this fly onto a window, and then just panning out and having the shot there to like show a CGI space station.
Yeah,
It's there to showcase technology
It's-
rather than anything to do with the film.
Yeah, and it feels like just a way to
And I think that's quite
a crap way to open the film,
Yeah.
essentially.
But it's quite telling because unfortunately it's kind of how the rest of the film plays itself. At least what we watched in the half an hour.
It was
There's
such
a lot of this pointless shit.
it was
Yeah,
such
so-
a boring credit sequence at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
It
so
just
this
went on
is
forever.
this is one of the ones where the credits at the beginning. Imagine that now, like you know,
I don't
so
mind it as long as they isn't boring. And I mean, it must have felt like it was
day.
a space odyssey or something.
No, like even in Spider-Man, and you got all the fucking like the DNA going along. At least it's something to look at, but it's still boring. Just get to the film. I put the film on to watch the film. I haven't put the film on to watch the credits. It's not Black Flag.
I love it when Steph freaks out. It's my favourite thing. I just fucking love it. It's the best.
Yeah, so like, yeah, that was shit.
Have you?
The
I
credits
mean,
annoyed me.
it reminded me. Have any of us ever watched Spaceballs here?
Yeah,
Yes.
the
Oh,
spoof.
so long ago, yeah.
Of Star
Yeah,
Wars.
yeah.
So, I mean, it takes the piss out of long credit sequences at the beginning by having a ridiculously long credit sequence, just like Star Wars with the floating writing. And then, just like Star Wars at the beginning, it has the Star Destroyer, which takes
Yeah.
ages to go over. This thing just keeps on going, and it's a 5-minute long intro of just a ship going, dun 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 dun. And it just goes and goes
See,
and
that's
goes
fine
and goes.
because
Yeah,
that's what they're going
But
for.
it's
and it works.
recognised
Yeah,
that
but-
in sci-fi films, this shit happens
but-
all the time.
But then
There's
Star
part of
Wars,
me
the
that-
original one, didn't have it because then
A New
George-
Hope did with the long sequence.
No, but that's getting you into the film. It's not credits of who the fuck starred in
Oh
the
yeah,
film.
true.
And it didn't take two.
But he got sued for that or something, didn't he? So then he had to fucking pay that out, and then because they had to put
It's
credits
been
at the beginning
sued for
or
a
some
lot,
shit.
hasn't it?
But part of me is thinking that this film is kind of trying to spoof itself, like with the
Do you think so?
with the breath-activated doors.
Oh,
and shit. I mean, there's
No.
there's parts of this movie where I'm thinking they are just taking.
They
the
can't be
piss.
serious.
Yeah.
No, I think they thought that was. I think they genuinely thought that was a funny joke. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. But
right. So the basically, should we just quickly do the plot of this?
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can do scene by scene. Because I literally don't remember what the fuck happened.
What's the
So
plot?
like, so the plot is that I'm guessing at the end of the third one, people can tell us if we're wrong. Ridley got impregnated with an alien.
Ripley.
Who does it?
Ridley is
Ridley, yeah,
Ridley
Scott.
Scott.
The
He's
director guy made
also
it.
the nemesis of the Metroid series.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Both funny.
Ridley. I think Ridley would make this film so much better, wouldn't he?
I'd like it if they tortured Ridley Scott.
Yeah, but he wasn't the director, was he?
No,
He
I'm
was,
saying the thing from Metroid.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
That would make the film a lot better.
It would make it a lot more interesting.
I don't want Ridley Scott near it.
Have they made? They have never made a Metroid movie, have they?
No.
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 I think someone's made a fan-made movie of
Oh
Metroid.
god, yeah, I've seen a few of them.
we
Sorry,
don't need to go onto your dodgy website. Yeah, so the premise of this one is that Ripley, I assume in the third one, gets an alien in her. But I don't remember, because they clone her.
so this
So-
takes place 200 years after the third one.
Of course it does. So 200 years after the first one.
The third one.
Third one.
Well, can I just say this is going splendidly?
This is so confusing.
That's why we usually start off on the first movie. don't
Yeah,
we?
normally. And then they clone her, and their idea is that they clone her. But she has.
I'm glad you're the
you know
one
what?
doing this right
You've
now.
nailed the idea.
You know what? This is actually probably what the board meeting to Alien Resurrection was like. I've got an idea.
Right, so she's cloned, and she has an alien inside her.
We've got Ripley back.
Right, so she's got an alien inside her that's living off her, which is going to burst out of her stomach soon enough.
Yeah.
So then they give her a cesarean.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Well, she's a
I
host.
guess-
She breeds for them, right?
No,
Or is it just that one in there?
just
I
that
think
one.
it's just that
Okay,
one.
just that
Yeah.
one.
Then they take
Okay.
that one, And is that one then the queen? Because then they have a queen, or do
Then
they
they
get
have
the
this
queen from
huge
somewhere
queen. There's
else?
no way that little fucker turns into that huge queen.
So why do they need
It
to
was,
get this
the
one?
next, it was the next scene. I mean, unless their life cycle is 10 minutes long, that thing did not turn into a fucking queen that quickly.
Yeah. It's, and then Ripley has alien DNA in her, and she's really strong now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why?
and her blood is acid.
Yes, because she's got alien DNA.
But that's pretty much the premise that we get to.
That's basically where we
legit.
get. That is.
We
and
find
then-
out that Ripley is alien kind of spawn.
They're trying to develop an alien army because they're a black ops undercover scientific
They
operation
want to train them.
for the military.
Yeah,
So they want to
weaponize
they want to weaponize
the
aliens.
alien.
When I was talking with Adam, I was like, oh yeah, but I mean, why are they going to try and teach them like tricks? I mean, who wants that as a pet? Because I wasn't thinking they wanted them as weapons. I thought they wanted them.
They're just starting like a pet trade.
I just like animals, and I was like, I wouldn't get it.
There's xenomorphs for sale.
There's a guy there with a clipboard. I've seen a lovely shop front. Why did I
Yeah.
go Yorkshire?
Oh, you didn't. You went really camp.
Did I? I thought I went.
Yeah,
not
you went
Yorkshire. I
down.
went a lovely shop front.
No, you're supposed to
No.
camp.
Then you did.
You know what? I clearly get my Yorkshire and camp accents mixed up.
Mixed up, yeah.
But
Wouldn't
yeah,
call it
so
accent.
a camp accent.
Camp accent.
Camp accent, I like it.
Accent.
No, I don't
And it,
know.
but like it's. Oh, can I have
What were
one
you on?
look? Here's a good point that you picked out, Adam. So after they've kind of got Ripley, like done her cesarean, this, that, and the other, she then has an orgasm in a sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's wrapped in this kind of see-through blanket. Was that a phone?
That was me.
I thought that was a fart, and I honestly thought it was me.
Not
I
again.
was like, sorry guys, I'm old.
They just flip
I
out.
was like, it just comes out of me now. I don't even think about it anymore.
Why is it old people do that? like you'll be in the queue, like
You know
in the
what?
queue to Tesco, and like an old lady will be in front of you just farting.
I'm
You're like,
sorry,
Does she not
but-
know she's doing
I'm
this?
sorry.
Yeah,
can
but
I
you
blow-
get to an age where you just don't give a
just
shit.
don't care.
Yeah.
Can I
And I
blow-
feel like I'm close to that age because I'm starting to really not give a shit.
Can I blow the lid off this just right now? Alien Resurrection is really boring and shit. Can we just talk about old people farting for an hour, please?
It was so boring.
Like, yeah, it was just so. There's nothing fucking happened. So
but in her little sheet that she was in,
yeah,
you made a great point, Adam. Who painted her nails? Oh no, was it you, Dan?
Yeah, no, it was me. It was me.
Oh, it's Adam. Yeah.
I was just showing the nails.
Oh, well, no, I thought you might have some more insight.
Some insight. Well, her nails were painted. I didn't see a beautician on the ship.
maybe
So
when
I
they
was
took her
wondering.
blood specimen from the planet she died on, she had painted nails there, and they were like, "Oh, we can clone all of it except from the painted nails, so we'll just have to paint them in later."
Part of her DNA.
And it was like really like bronze,
Wait,
wasn't
wait,
it?
wait. Even on the
She's
ship that she
2/3
died
acrylic.
on, right? She's sort of, action woman,
Hard
sort
ass.
of like hard nut mechanic-y, sort of like
Yeah.
fucking real gritty, like tomboy, right?
Yeah.
What she wouldn't have painted her nails then either.
Maybe
No,
it's the,
she doesn't come across the character that
I
paints
just
her
really
nails.
feel like they've kind of
maybe it's the alien DNA, and her nails are going a bit blackish.
no, because you can see the fucking stem. They're painted.
True. I'm trying to help, but there's no help.
They're
in this movie.
manicured as well, not just painted. They're
Oh, they
fucking
were
immaculate.
perfect.
Those nails were brilliant.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Is a pedicure the foot?
Yes.
Thank you, Dan.
We're also
You're
introduced.
welcome.
Latin for foot.
We're introduced to
Ped.
a random team.
Child. Yes.
Yes.
Like another team of people who all seem to be like action hero men who talk like this because
There's
because
that
I'm in the
stupid
army.
fucking scene where the
Ah.
door opens to like they're going on. They're trying to board the
Like the
military
A-team.
spaceship, and the door opens and there's smoke and shit, and there's just this like group of 6 people all stood there in a pose.
Well,
Yeah.
well, not all stood there. One's in a wheelchair. I'm not. It's true. He is. I'm just saying.
Look,
Oh,
if he wasn't going to, I was about to scream it out.
Even I feel bad about it.
Ah,
Oh dear.
but you got Ron Perlman,
Yeah.
who's
Fucking love
a
Ron Perlman.
dick.
Yeah.
He's the one. So his target
he's my
practice
favourite, though.
for fun. It was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He just throws knives into the disabled guy's leg because he can't feel it.
Come on.
What a dick
When you
move.
say it like that, though, it does sound quite funny.
No, it's
No,
not. That
he
is
could have
not
hit him in the
funny.
nutsack.
It's quite
That's a
Get an
right
artery,
dick
he could
move.
still die.
Yeah, he can still
feel
get
it.
infected.
Yeah,
Just because he can't fucking feel it doesn't mean it's cool to go throwing
Oh.
knives at them.
Yeah, but they didn't
Oh,
really
blimey.
take care of it afterwards. He just pulled it out and went, "Oh, I don't believe you did this. I've told you about this."
you
no
know-
one wiped it. He didn't even look at it, and
You
then
know
he
what
just got back to work.
it reminded me of that scene? You've seen that viral video? Like, it's been on YouTube for like 10 years. Really old viral video. There's this guy putting on some sunglasses, like kid, and he's like, "Yeah, so I was just gonna go around the block,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
this guy just punches him in the face. He goes, boom! Oh, I can't believe you've done this."
And
And it
such a
reminded me
British
of that.
accent.
Yeah.
I can't believe
I
you've
can't
done
believe
this.
you've done
I
this.
can't believe it.
It reminded me of that. He got a knife dropped in his leg from a great height. Sorry. And it obviously caused a considerable amount of damage. He comes out from underneath his little spaceship or whatever he's working on. He's just like, "I can't believe you've done this." He doesn't actually say that. He says, "I've told you to stop doing that, you dick."
Yeah. So Ron Perlman's a dick. The
Yeah.
acting in this film.
Fucking hell, it's atrocious all around.
Real poor.
I mean,
There's no saving it, Dan. It's
No,
terrible.
it's
No.
bad. Like, the thing is, Prometheus...
everyone's like a real archetype. You've got the creepy scientist who might be an android. You've got the good scientist, and you've got Ron Perlman as a dick. But they're all dicks in that crew. They're all dicks.
Except for Winona Ryder,
Winona Ryder, she's alright.
Yes. Of course.
who seems to be the glue keeping it together.
And
but she's
the
silent.
dude in the wheelchair, he seems alright, bit pervy, but he doesn't seem to be that much of a dick.
He's got. A good
He's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, I like him. The collarbone touching.
Yeah, I mean,
The
Oh
titty
my
gra-
god, she had such an amazing personality.
we don't know who that character was. The pilot of
Great
the
save, man. Great save.
the pilot of the second crew. What was her name? Does anyone know her name?
I don't know any of their names except for
Oz.
Ripley. And I called her Ridley earlier.
yeah, Steph's struggling with
Yeah.
this one,
The
guys.
leader.
Do you
comes
know any
round
of their
and
names?
Grabbing the
Cell?
Cal.
Yeah, but you only know...
I called her Cell. That's a Dragon Ball Z villain.
Yeah, but you only know
They
that
look
one because
similar.
of the game.
Because of the game, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know any of their names.
Well, I've got
Because of this.
I've got nicknames for them all. There's
that doesn't count.
there's
we
the
don't have
Muggles.
time to go through. I called him Hot Rod.
I call the lead guy who his name I just can't remember. The Musketeer because
Right, so the leader of this crew, right, I can't remember his name.
I thought Adam was about to go off on one
I am
there.
about to go off on one, but in
Oh.
a really good way because he is the main bad guy in the Three Musketeers, the original 1990, not original, but the 1992 movie, and in that he plays the best villain that has ever graced the screen. Okay, he just has this
Darth
proper
Vader.
raspy voice.
was
He's
gonna
so
say,
much
the
better
Three
than Darth
Musketeers.
Vader. He's got an eye patch. He wears a black hat.
Captain Hook.
he's a pirate.
He's got a sword. Oh, he just-
Captain
He's a pirate.
fucking brilliant. Anyway,
Yeah,
in
if
this
only Vader
movie-
had an eye patch.
Yeah, and a sword. He's just got
Yeah.
some gay lightsaber.
Yeah, and a
and his
helmet.
voice is never that good.
Nah, silly voice, eh? What's
Okay,
he like?
Darth Vader's pretty cool, but this dude is fucking sick, and I'm just pleased he was there.
Yeah, he's
Fair enough, mate. I'm glad that you
Because
enjoyed
this
it.
movie had nothing else going for it.
I'm trying to find some positive. What I would say, look, in terms of finding a positive in this film, and look, there are very few to choose from. The cinematography isn't too bad. Like the kind of lighting, that kind of weird greeny-esque kind of strange lighting, it's quite becoming of a sci-fi film. It's typical.
No, I have to disagree. I never really got a sense of what was in the spaceship. I didn't know like what was
What's
going
in
on.
the spaceship?
the fact that it's in a spaceship suggests sci-fi movie.
No, it's just sort of like
No,
I didn't understand.
He's not wrong. And
Yeah.
cloning.
Whenever we were in like,
Fucking aliens!
whenever we were in the lab,
The film
or
is
something-
called Aliens.
No, I just didn't.
What
like
about
it.
this didn't scream sci-fi movie?
Oh, the sci-fi was such just
Alien
ridiculous.
Resurrection. That sounds like a wonderful romantic comedy.
The sci-fi was ridiculous.
Sorry,
sci-fi.
Dan.
It was like really like childish. It's like, oh, this is how it's going to be in the future, or this could be Q.
Actually, yeah. I mean,
Q. The security system.
yeah. I was just about to say, can we talk about farting on doors, please?
Yeah, so the security system. So high-tech security systems, you expect retina display, like retina fucking whatever.
Recognition.
Sci-fi.
Like palm, what, you know.
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
The one you've never really thought of. Yeah, like voice recognition, sweet, yeah,
Yeah,
fine with me. The one that you've never thought of would be breath analyzing.
Yes.
Now, the guy basically goes onto his thing, and it's like, no match, please redo. And he's like, welcome.
That's so right.
Like, and it's like,
Such
Well,
an unfunny joke. And all.
does it do moisture? Like, is that like, does it do DNA from like
what aspect
the moisture
of
from
the
your
mouth?
mouth?
Yeah. What aspect of it?
In which
particular?
case,
Well, because your mouth houses a lot of DNA. That's why if you ever go to a police station,
yeah, they give you a
everyone-
mouth swab.
They swab your mouth because it houses so much DNA. So if you're breathing out,
You two
into
jumped
a-
on that one pretty fucking sharp.
Well,
Are you here on day release?
do you know what it reminded me of though? I think it's in Futurama, and Zach Brannigan has to give like, there's like a kiss.
Oh, kiss.
He has to do a kiss, doesn't he? And he like makes out with this robot to prove that it's him.
yeah.
That's what it reminded me
It
of.
is-
Like, that's
it
the
is-
next fucking
It's
step.
on
isn't
that
it?
level of ridiculous.
So that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. It feels like it's spoofing itself. Like,
It does.
and even the
but-
way the way he blows into this
Yeah.
machine. It's not like a tube comes out and he gives like a breathalyzer test.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would have been better.
It's
I would have
not
been
like
fine
He
with
just
that.
goes like I can't do it as well as you can, but he just
just-
fucking.
It's so shit. The other thing that I found a bit weird, right? They're like
Only one
like-
other thing?
Yeah, well, another thing. Like, so there's this bit where it's in a video game, and the video game looks fucking terrible
No, it does.
with terrible graphics.
Like, yeah.
And I understand that this film came out in what 1997.
Yes.
Right. But they could have like just don't do it because like it's supposed to be 200 years from Alien 3, which is in the future anyway. So, and apparently our video games don't look any better than that. And I know the machines are fucking like the computers look like old DOS systems and all that still. And it's that kind of like retro future.
Yeah.
But fuck off.
Films have done it before. They've done it better, and they've done it before that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
wasn't
very
just
much
the computer games either, the TV. That bit where they're all sat around watching TV and the only thing on TV in the year 3000 or whatever is fucking QVC. Bidup.tv.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to call in and buy like an
Buy a
antique.
gun
In
for
fa- in fairness,
1,000
though,
credits.
Like in the year 3000.
How they fucking send
I,
it?
s- I
Royal
still,
Mail.
I, still,
Yeah.
I still think they'll be like bringing out like Stephen Fry's head in a jar to do episodes of fucking QI.
Well, he's not doing QI anymore.
Yeah, Sandy Toksvig. Behind
You're
the
wrong.
times.
But no, I know what you mean. There's always going to be like the want for retro.
Well, that's the future
And-
ruined, isn't it?
Yeah.
People in the
actually
future,
pretty
they're
good.
probably going to love like retro stuff, like old
She's
TVs.
not
And,
an overweight
and
gay
it-
man, though, is she? Sorry.
Does that make QI?
Oh, is she really? Well, colour me intrigued.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Dan.
No, they'll want like retro stuff,
know.
and that might have been part of like the design for the inside of the ship and what they use. But I mean, no, it just didn't mesh
Nah.
with me
Nah.
with everything I was seeing.
So then, should we talk about the basketball scene and then we'll just leave it?
Yes.
So the basketball scene was one of the last scenes we watched, and so Ripley is playing basketball
Yes.
by herself, and then Ron Perlman and part of the knobhead crew come in, and Ron Perlman's this macho man, so he tries to beat her at basketball.
He's like, hey, sweet cheeks, how about you pass that rock and I show you how to really dribble?
Did he actually say that line?
No, but that was good.
No, but that was basically like
Yeah.
that's
Thank
what he
God,
meant.
'cause
But
if that was the
but
actual
was
script.
Good. That was good ad lib.
yeah,
That was good going.
Oh my! Oh.
and
But the script is on that level of bad.
yeah. And then she just beats him up and throws him across the room.
Basically. And then she gets a dumbbell smashed into her face.
Yeah.
And then she shoots a sweet hoop and walks away.
I like the story that you gave. Though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was true. Is that true? Did you Google it?
I
yeah.
didn't. Actually, in the Wikipedia page, I didn't read it, but maybe it is there. I'll have a look now.
Why don't you tell us?
Why don't you tell us the
Well,
story?
I'll tell you the story, and
I'll
Adam will
do it.
confirm it or deny it. So the story goes that at the end, she gets the basketball and she like throws it over her head, and it goes out of camera shot and then back in shot and goes through the hoop. And it's a very quick cut then to Ron Perlman like
The
then
reactions.
looking at like a close up of Ron Perlman, and apparently that's done because she just done that. And it actually went in first time, and then obviously they all went, "Fuck yeah, shit, you done it, way!" And they obviously had to cut that
Yeah.
because they couldn't all react.
That's really.
That's the story. Adam's gonna.
I was just thinking it'd be very easy to fake it.
Because yeah, that's the
If
thing.
you had
Because
a
it
platform up there,
apparently
you
because
just
it-
throw
probably-
it back, somebody
probably what
grabs
they
it.
were
and
planning
then-
yeah,
to do,
because
but
it
it
goes
didn't go
out
well.
of shot and then back into shot. It looks like you wouldn't think anything of it. You think, oh yeah, clearly someone's done that.
yeah.
If that is true, then I mean, I understand why they probably
Best
went
bit of
nuts.
the film, right?
Yeah, best bit of the film. I understand why they probably went nuts, and it's a good laugh. But it would have been better if no one reacted.
Well, I mean,
if they just went, "What?"
I think,
or like reacted but didn't
Didn't
ruin the
scream,
the shot.
I think,
Anything, Ad?
if this is true,
Director must have been
I'm
pissed.
still reading this
Or
whole
happy.
bloody article just to try find it. I'll cut back to you.
Carry on, Tom.
so if
Dan?
this- if
Yeah.
this-
Okay, Tom.
Look, don't push it. I'm only kidding. So basically,
Hurry
what
up,
I reckon,
hurry up.
So if that is true,
Sorry.
and she threw the basketball and it went in first time,
Yeah.
I think the director should have just said, "You know what? Fuck this. I've only wasted.
I'm gonna
Don't
burst your-
do it.
He's going to
Go
burst
ahead.
our bubble.
Go ahead. Go on. I'll let
What
you.
was
burst
it?
your
The
bubble.
No, please.
100th try.
No, so basically, Sigourney Weaver was so intent on getting the shot, and the director was like, "Listen, I don't want you to actually get the shot. We can put that in afterwards. Stop being a dick." Excuse me. And she was like, "No." So she practiced for ages and ages and ages until she could get it in, like every 1 in 6. So then the guy was like, "Right, we'll do the shot. You've got 6 chances to get it in. If you don't make it, we're not doing it your way." She does the first 5, misses the first 5. On the 6th one, she gets it in.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
not quite
it's
as
not
good.
Quite
No,
the
no,
epic
I
stuff.
like
quite
that.
good, but it's
That's
still good.
dedication, and that's
Yeah.
that's her like having fun.
But you
on a
wouldn't
set
think
of a really
they'd
shit movie.
react because if they watched it 5 times, the 6th time when she finally does it, obviously you're going to be like, "Oh wow, well done."
But they were all aware.
No, they'd probably be
Ecstatic for her.
ecstatic because
Yeah.
otherwise they're thinking,
They were
how
like,
many
"Yeah,
times
she
am I going to have to
beat
watch
the fucking
this
system."
woman?"
well, no, because the director already said.
Yeah,
you've
but
got 6
realistically,
chances.
Sigourney Weaver is the talent. The only reason the movie's
Yeah.
taking place is because she's there. If she says, "I'm doing it again," she's
They're
doing
doing it again.
Well,
yeah,
the thing
fair
is,
enough.
like what I was saying before, when this happened, when she gets it in, I think that should have been the director's cue, and he should have just thought, it all makes sense. This movie is shit. Why don't I just make Space Jam 2? I've already got the set. I've already got space, because I filmed a load of scenes in space. I've got a basketball.
And I've got jam.
Did he do Space Jam 1?
No.
No,
Probably not.
I'm going to
No,
say
but
no.
But I
The
mean,
premise is
it's-
basically the same.
I mean, basically, admittedly, they probably wouldn't have the budget to CGI Bugs Bunny and a load of his troop in. So I just say, just get a few blokes in alien costumes and just tell the kids they're Bugs Bunny. All of them are Bugs Bunny.
All those monsters.
It was a cloning accident in space with a jar of jam.
Makes so much sense.
It was a breeding effort between a basketball and a jar of jam went horrifically wrong
And made a xenomorph.
and made a xenomorph which has the personality of a CGI rabbit.
Perfect. That makes great sense.
And you know what? That still
alright.
sounds like a better film than Alien Resurrection, and it makes more sense than Alien Resurrection. All these scenes, the reason why we seem so scattered in talking about all of these scenes and trying to link them together is because that's what the film's like.
Yeah.
At least the first half an hour, what we watched. It's like a load of shit. It's just like throwing fucking feces at a wall and just hoping that one of those pieces of shit somehow speaks to you and gives you a good semblance of a film. No, it's your own fecal matter on a wall. It's shit on a wall. This is what this film is. It's a pile of shit thrown at a fucking wall. And they expected that to be a good movie.
Yeah, it's not.
There's no character development, there's no scene making, there's a guy breathing on a microphone to get through a fucking door. There's a woman obsessed with basketball for no reason. What the fuck is going on with this?
Tom, really great
Tom,
arse.
Tom.
would you continue watching it?
Of course I fucking would. No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Ad?
I don't know. See, I'm
It's
tempted
because of
to
that
continue
woman's
watching it.
arse.
It's because of
Personality.
her personality.
Oh, she's going to be the first one to die.
I'd probably-
Adam don't care as long as it's in the shower.
As long as the
Not
alien's
Psycho.
tongue goes
You're
up her
painting
bum.
me in such a bad light.
The thing is, I think the only way I'd watch this is if I've watched 1, 2, then I was like, I'll watch 3. Then I might be inclined to watch this just to see how that original 4 wrap up.
Yeah.
That's the only time. I wouldn't just be like, I'll just stick on Alien 4 like I would of Aliens. Because you can watch Aliens without watching Alien.
Do any of you remember like the end of Resurrection by any chance?
No. Oh yeah, isn't she in like a mech?
No, that's Aliens.
No.
Then no.
It's the human-alien hybrid, but the proper human-alien hybrid. And it's basically like an alien, but it's got like a human skull.
Wait, so does
And
it end on another cliffhanger?
No,
Sort
it's like it's a really like actiony scene.
God, it sounds terrible.
But yeah, so it's like a white alien because it's got like human flesh, and it's got like a human skull. But the last scene is her throwing it out of an airlock, and it thinks that Ripley is its mum. But the last scene is it going out of an airlock of
Sure.
a tiny little hole, so it's being like torn apart, and it's going, "Mommy, mommy!" I'm not even fucking joking. It's going, "Mom, mom, mom."
Okay, well now I have to watch it.
Adam, please find me a picture
That's
of it.
exactly what I'm doing, Steph.
And you know what? I probably would watch it for that now. Now you've said that, I probably would watch it.
Well,
Well,
no,
actually,
no,
I just
it's
skipped to the
terrible.
end. I just skipped to the end.
I
just
know
to
it's
watch it.
terrible.
See, look, that's it. There.
What the fuck is
I
that?
remember
It's
this.
the alien-human
remember.
hybrid.
I've seen this film, and
See,
I do
look,
not
it's got like the
remember it.
human skull face, and it's like, "Mommy."
Yeah, I remember seeing the image, but the voice.
That's kind of ruined Alien for me.
Well, if you don't like that, mate, don't bother watching Covenant, and don't bother watching.
It's for anyone looking. It's a great picture, but I mean,
Well, just type in
Fucking
alien
camel toe.
resurrection.
Look
alien
at the
hybrid.
fucking labia on that.
oh,
Labia.
oh, God. You're happy you aren't seeing this, viewers. Christ.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
That's one hell of a Majora. No
so,
Minora there, eh?
Bloody hell.
so we wouldn't carry on watching this. Should we just go to the game?
Yeah,
please.
let's do a nice smooth transition over to the game. So the game was released actually
Smooth.
3 years afterwards, in 10th October 2000. That's the North American release. It was developed by Argonaut and it was published by Fox Interactive.
All right.
Yeah.
And Fox done the film, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Adam, do you want to explain why it was 3 years late?
Yeah, so they actually intended to release it alongside the movie, but it was originally developed as a third-person survival horror.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, and then Argonaut decided to scrap that. They completely started from scratch to make it into a first-person survival horror. So obviously that pushed the date back, and then there were some delays in developing the game, whilst making it a first-person game until 4 years later. 4 years later, 3 years later.
Yeah.
They're ready to release on the PlayStation, and it was originally going to be released on the Nintendo 64,
Sega Saturn?
Sega Saturn,
Yeah.
and the PC, and then that was scrapped. So in the end, it
Just
was
got PlayStation.
PlayStation, and I think PC.
Yeah, I think it was PC as
Yeah,
well.
PC
I
as
imagine it would do well as a PC game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
this,
really glad that they took the time.
yeah.
They're really like
This
you're here,
has
but-
probably been the most pleasant surprise we've had on Cash Grab, I think.
I'd say, especially
Following a
after the
terrible
film.
movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so this game, it does like a CGI opening of the first about 10 minutes of the film, but like
Yeah.
condensed down.
And it's
As
quite,
it
quite
should
scene
have
for
been.
scene. You know, it's quite,
Yeah.
it's trying to be almost identical, basically.
Yeah, but then it kicks in where I assume the film eventually gets to where aliens get loose in the spaceship and Ripley goes out to kick some ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where you start off. You're Ripley.
It just drops you right in.
Yeah, literally, yeah, you're straight into it.
No tutorial, no nothing. Very little health to start out with, but it lets you off finding med packs and stuff.
Yeah, off you go.
There is that cutscene at the beginning, the identical one to the movie.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's,
Yes, there's a cutscene at the beginning of the. Yeah, so the interesting thing about this game is that it's one of the first games to have the modern first-person shooter control style as we know it now.
Yeah, so twin analog sticks,
Yeah.
basically.
So left one goes forwards, back, and then strafes left and right, and right one looks up, down, and looks left and right.
Yeah.
So it's weird that someone, I think it was GameSpot, actually kind of gave it a bad review because of the control system.
Yeah, they
it was
panned that.
it was well, it was panned for the graphics, the difficulty, but mainly the control scheme. They said the control scheme is what's the word?
they said it's basically unplayable, or like
Yeah.
because of how difficult the control scheme made the game.
It's
Which is crazy because, like,
absolutely amazing looking back
so
at that.
yeah, so I played it, right, and it plays exactly like a first-person shooter now, except it kind of like bobbles into like the view. So when you look down a bit, it'll go back up, and like when you look up, it'll go back down. So it always kind of recenters you. So that's the only thing that's not.
It doesn't have the fluidity of a
Yeah,
modern system.
obviously it don't play as smoothly as like a Call of Duty game because they've had all that time to develop it. But like it, if you've played any first-person shooter, you can easily get your head around this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can imagine, like, if you gave like my girlfriend, for example, I gave her the controller to play a first-person shooter game. She couldn't wrap her head around moving and looking at the same time because it's her first game like it she's played.
Yeah.
So she was just like trying to get used to it, whereas we've all played it and we've grown up with it.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
you know, we've done GoldenEye where you had the one stick, then we went to whatever to, and
Yeah.
we developed with it. So giving someone that, I can understand they would be a bit confused.
It's an alien prospect. Oh, an alien prospect.
Nice.
That was.
But going back to it now, it works sweet. It worked
Yeah.
really well.
As for the opinion on the graphics, yeah, the graphics they're very blocky, but I mean, was this the same time as GoldenEye? No, GoldenEye came out much earlier, didn't it?
GoldenEye was before. Yeah, I think GoldenEye's 97.
GoldenEye was 97.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
It had
3 years off.
It had the same sort of like character models as GoldenEye, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, very similar.
It was blocky. There wasn't much, but it was gritty, and it was dark and
Well, yeah.
It took the same aesthetic as the film.
Yes, yeah.
and
I
they
think
did it better.
That's something they
Yeah.
did really well. Yeah, they set the atmosphere
This-
brilliantly.
this
So we're
is
all
it.
used to playing like games with fucking brilliant graphics. Now we were all fucking screaming like we were intently involved.
We decided to play
turned-
this in darkness
Yeah.
as it suggests for you to before you start the game.
Puts a little
Before the
prompt.
menu. Yeah, we suggest you play this with the lights off, and we took that
And
advice,
we did.
and I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's no music to it. So
No.
there's no. I don't know what the hell I'm going to put at the end of the episode, but there's no music.
There might be music later
Just-
on, but
Just 5
Wow.
minutes of silence.
Yeah. But that just tells build tension because you've only got the footstep sounds. You've got
Breathing.
like breathing. You've got pipes
Later
going.
on the radar, just a doo-doo.
Yeah, you get a radar as well, which is classic Aliens.
An
Like,
alarm, which is really bloody intrusive.
yeah, very
In
annoying.
fairness,
Loud.
Alarms are intrusive by nature.
the only
Yeah.
voiceover you get is the
Announcing
announce
system.
Yeah.
yeah, the PR system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PA.
It's you know, like, considering this is on the PlayStation 1, I know it's later PlayStation 1 2000, but there are very few games of the era that really caught atmosphere, and I'd say the Resident Evils did.
Oh, for sure.
You know, they really did, and they were like Silent Hills did. You know, like well, there's only one for the PlayStation era, wasn't there?
Yeah, because Silent Hill 2 was on PS2.
Yeah, so I mean, Silent Hill did. You know, there were games, but none of these are first person that really caught atmosphere. And I think it's a hell of a credit to this game where there are 4 grown men in 2017 playing a game from the year 2000, from generations back, and screaming like children.
Yeah, like,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something to
It
that which
did
really
work.
calls to the success of the game in itself.
because you look at it first and you're like, yeah, it looks alright, you know. But then, like, the first time we saw an alien, all of us were like, fuck, kill it, fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's coming through, and the little glimpses you get, because me and
Yeah.
Ad
Yeah.
didn't see when it was like standing up on top
Yeah,
of the
creepy.
ledge.
There's loads of
I still
little,
barely
like,
saw it the second
What
time
about
round.
playing as Cal and that one came around the fucking corner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they just
Fucking shout ourselves.
yeah, like it
Because
really
we
does
knew
work.
what was going to be there, but we were
We
like,
could hear it, but like
now
just
we're
like
fine.
where? Yeah.
But the aliens are like perfect middle ground between Alien Isolation, where the alien was indestructible,
Yeah.
which by the way is a fucking great game. If anyone
I've
fancies,
been meaning to play it for a long time.
if you enjoyed this, which we all did, and you want to play a modern version, play Alien Isolation and shit yourself during that because it's fucking terrifying. And Alien Colonial Marines, where the aliens were basically paper mache that you shot and they just burst and died and they were useless.
The whole aspect
This-
of the horror was gone
Yeah.
on Colonial Marines.
But this is perfect middle ground where the aliens take, like shotguns, they take 2 good shots
Yes.
and are down. Handgun, it was like 5 or
Loads,
6.
Hmm.
But like, they're coming at you. You've got time to kill them and you've got time to back away.
if you got place to back away.
Yeah, but if you don't and they get up front, you're dead.
Yeah, they're strong.
So
They're strong.
They like to
As it
circle
should be,
around you,
yeah.
and
so they are scary, but they're not so terrifying to the point that you can't beat them.
they're
Yes.
not as
Yeah. But
terrifying as
Yeah.
ladders and vents. Because I mean,
Valid.
they are the bane of Steph's existence
Well,
on this game.
The problem is, like, so I'm guessing people have played The Witcher 3. Me and Tom have. I don't. Have you? You haven't played
No.
The Witcher 3.
No.
One of the problems with The Witcher 3 is that you'll be going down a hill, right? And there'll be a little like boulder rock,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, oh, rather than going down, I'm going to go on the boulder rock and just jump off like you would in any other RPG. And for some reason, Geralt is one of the strongest motherfuckers ever. But he has the worst Achilles heel I've ever seen in my life. Because if he jumps from a little boulder onto the floor, you're down. Like, you're going to lose a lot of health. If not, you're going to die.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. And this game suffers from that as well. I went on the ladder, and I dropped off the ladder, and it's like Half-Life, where like the ladder's in front of you, you walk into it, and then you just hear a noise to know you're attached, and then you can go up and down on side to
Yeah.
side, and then
You had like
fall
full
off.
health when you fell off that ladder.
I fell off and died. Like, I don't understand.
It was a very.
You got
perilous 10
electrocuted
feet.
later on by,
Yeah.
by a flash, and that took away like
I was
not
fine.
even a little.
He got
bit.
mauled by an alien,
Yeah, and I was
and he
alright.
was all right.
I got spat on by the alien. I was alright.
By
But you'll be
person.
surprised. You only need to fall a little way, and you can really do yourself in. Because the
Education. I'd love to know the statistics of real life. How many people died from falling off of ladders?
Probably a lot from all the bloody
I
warnings.
imagine
I
was
have
gonna
them.
say,
More people
all those
die falling off
injury
of ladders
claims
than they do
adverts.
getting eaten by aliens.
or sharks.
You're
So
not
it's
wrong, mate.
realistic.
You're not wrong. I'll give you that.
Well, it depends because it
You're gonna look up how many people have been killed by aliens.
I've seen
3.
some. I know someone that I
is this really happening? Is he going to do that?
I don't know.
someone in the
Well,
company I
look,
worked
it's the
with,
internet.
they-
He's going to find like 1 million people that are like, I died from aliens.
Not a
I
great
got
story
killed.
anyway, we just get past
Sorry,
it.
Dan. Sorry. Tom will stop interrupting you at some point.
No, I forgot.
So,
it.
like I was saying,
it's gone. It's gone. I forgot it. The moment's gone.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Well, anyway, back
That's what
to
we're doing
what
today,
I said
by the
about
way.
the ladders. This game has a real Half-Life 1 feel to it.
yes, it does.
It does, doesn't it? Like, and me and you clocked it straight away. It's when you walk into this room and a computer bursts and electricity fires from one side to the other. It looked exactly like Half-Life when
It's-
you're in the chamber
The
pushing
booth,
the thing
the
in.
booth before,
Yeah.
It's almost identical. Yeah, it's almost identical. And the thing is, it's like when they were developing this, obviously the initial development was a third-person survival horror. They were going for a Resident Evil rip-off, basically. At least on paper, it seems that way. If they did that, they would have just had, at least what I could imagine, a relatively subpar Resident Evil rip-off. Whatever, it's a half-decent game.
It could have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would always be overshadowed by the fact that Resident Evil came before and was the innovator of that survival horror series.
Yes.
In doing this, they clearly took influence from things like Half-Life. I think System Shock as well. They definitely took influence from. But obviously, it feels like a survival horror game, and that's hard to do in first person on a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But it feels like Resident Evil, like that. You take it slow. You don't rush down corridors. You know,
You're constantly looking for ammo and
Yeah.
save points or anything that can help you out. Med packs.
Everything's scarce. and
You want to
have-
find
yeah.
everything.
It's
to
a
help
true
you out.
survival horror in first person on the PlayStation 1. And I was saying, the only thing that I can compare to it is Resident Evil 7. And that came out this fucking year.
There must be another first-person survival horror, but I
Yeah.
just can't think.
I mean, there are, but like not in that, at least not that I can think of in that exact same way. Like with it being very much feeling like a Resident Evil game.
It's just like Dead Space but first person. You can
Yeah.
name them, but I can't think of any.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously first-person survival horrors like Outlast and stuff, but it's not the same because that's all like camera. There's no guns, there's no ammo.
Yeah, like what was that?
You know.
PT.
Yeah.
Evil
It
Within.
wasn't the same. Evil.
That's a
No, that was
third
third person.
person. Yeah.
Oh yes, sorry, no.
Yeah.
So God and Adam, how many people have been killed by aliens? And how many people have been killed by ladders?
Aliens.
I'm going.
I
to
was right. 3. In 2011 in the UK. For the same year, in the UK, 57 people died falling from ladders.
So ladders are more dangerous. What about steam? Because that fucked me up.
Listen,
you-
it's
you-
hard enough to find
Step
aliens.
walked in front of a.
I burnt myself on some steam, and that fucking hurt.
Insta kill.
Wait, is this real life?
Yeah, real life.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, no, I had
another
a
game.
I had a kettle boiling, and I just reached over, and I like
Just another number.
just another statistic. But like the kettle was boiling, I reached over to get my cup, and I burnt my arm, and it fucking hurt.
It's just the best.
But I didn't die.
I burned myself on some steam.
I just wanted to tell you guys now. Here.
It happened. I'm not happy about it,
I'm
but
okay.
it happened.
Oh god, that's brilliant.
But yeah, I
that's
did.
nearly Darwin Award worthy.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb.
It's pretty special. Pretty
Well, I mean,
special
that
moment.
is how you died the second time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just like-
That's what I'm saying. I saw some steam. I thought I'll just walk through it. I might get a bit hurt, but I'll be fine. And
You
as soon
should've
as I
done-
fucking touched it, I died.
Don't you fucking dare!
It wasn't that bad.
You
Jesus.
should have learned your lessons from real life, Steph.
Yeah, I should have. But
Steam hurts.
that's the thing. I survived in real life. I might have been a bit hurt, but if I had a med pack, I'd have been fine. So I thought Ripley would be the same. I had a large med pack ready to go. I thought I'd walk through it. I'll just med pack up my burns. I'll be sweet to go.
Do you
But
reckon the health bar on this game is just the paint on her nails, and the steam just
Melted the
rinsed
paint.
and drained off all the acrylic, and just she was like, I give up.
Yeah,
If I can't
fuck
have
it.
nice nails, what's the point in fighting an alien?
But she's the
I
only
want
one
to
that
look
can.
good when I fight an alien.
She's the only one in this franchise who's smart enough to realise this alien shouldn't be fucked with. Just get rid of it. Stop trying to make it into an army. Stop being a dick.
Yeah, you know the whole thing about that saying, common sense. It ain't that common.
Yeah,
That's
it's definitely
taken
not an
to
alien.
kind of ridiculous degrees in Alien, isn't it? How about we breed a monumental army of man-eating, killing alien xenomorph fuckholes? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll go for a beer after.
Someone's got to think of it, haven't they?
Someone has got to think of it.
Someone has to be a
And
hero.
then somebody has to be shot.
Yeah.
Um,
So, should we any other points to the game or?
I mention we've been saying like when the aliens show up, they're terrifying, and the combat's quite decent. You managed to get a few headshots in. It felt comfortable
Some
enough.
which definitely weren't headshots.
No.
No, some the guy had gone
Maybe that
and then I
was-
shot and he died. I feel like
Maybe
I
it's
feel
a
like they,
recoil.
I feel like they were just like, oh, we'll give him this one. I'll just pretend. Just like,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
Good shot, mate.
He's on the floor just.
Even the corduroy but the hilarious thing is the aliens. They were in interesting places. They popped out and they gave you a fright. And when they're crawling around, terrifying. As soon as they stand up, look like a man in a bodysuit.
It does a
in
bit.
the game.
It does
just,
a bit.
And they just
They were-
waddled up to you, or if they're circling you, it just looks hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can see the gameplay, just have a look at
the
them
walking
walking.
animations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you that. The crawling animation was terrifying, but when they walked, they did look dumb.
Bit
Yes.
like they looked a little bit like Power Rangers.
Yes. But the thing is,
Not
they
enough-
were still scary because I knew they'd rip my fucking head off.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But no, I'd say that this is the game of what episode is this? 26.
the
Yes.
year.
So this is the game.
Scrap game of the year.
I'd say this is the game that we've probably got the most into.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where,
without
like-
doubt.
Well,
By
we
the half an hour, we wanted to get to the next save point.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
Didn't want to
We
stop.
wanted to continue, yeah. We only
The-
stopped because
There
We
are
had
only
to.
2 that I can think of we've got into this much, and one was GoldenEye. I
Yeah,
think
the difference was with GoldenEye is we've all played it so much
yeah.
that I can just play Dam and Facility. Like, I
Yeah.
can fucking name the first 2 levels off the top of my head.
the other one was Friday the 13th. Because we
Yeah,
really,
got
we
well
really
into that.
got
did
into
actually
that.
really get into that.
So
And
those
Back
are
to
the
the
3.
Future Part 1.
Look, fuck
All
off.
the ones I wasn't here for.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't
You're a dick.
it? So, well, going by that, would we all play it again?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
The only other thing to note is that you play as 4 characters in the game.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yes.
quite cool.
Spread over different levels, and I think each seems to acquire different gear and has a different, like,
Yes.
tool or way of going about things.
Because when I was Ripley, I only had the standard pistol. When I was
Cal.
Yeah.
You
I
had
had
the radar.
a shotgun and a radar.
Yeah.
Which didn't do much. It only bleeped like once, and
Good-
then you
good in a
then you
way,
just went,
though.
oh fuck.
Yeah,
Because
but
it kept you tense. Because
Oh,
every
yeah.
now and
Because
again,
you
just
bleep.
added another layer.
yeah,
of,
you
like,
haven't seen
But
anything
then,
for
like-
like 5 minutes. Then all you see is doop, and you're like, oh shit.
But then it's like the Alien Isolation one, the radar is probably the best implementation I've seen. Because when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
looking at that, the rest of the screen's blurry. So you actually pull the radar up and then the background blurs. So you're focused on this. So if you see a movement,
You're like,
it's blurred. But then you've got the boop, 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 as it's getting closer. And I feel like the like boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop,
It
boop,
just
boop. It's scary. There's just a boop. And you're like, oh, there's one near. Do you know what I mean? Like when you know it's getting closer and you, like when I was in that vent system and I heard a boop, I was like, fuck. Where's it coming from? But like, if I heard like boop, 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 I would have been like
Panic would set
spinning
in.
around
Yeah.
looking for it. Like I would have been a lot more
Absolute
scared.
panic.
With
But-
some clever editing, this whole conversation could be misconstrued into Steph trying to censor himself.
Or,
Boop, 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 fuck, boop, 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 boop.
Why would he not censor the bit where he's swearing?
yeah.
No, he's trying to censor himself. It's impossible to censor yourself.
What?
You can't say fucking beep at the same time. Look, try it.
It could be.
Should we all have an attempt?
I've already
Fucking
done
beep
mine.
at the same time.
Fucking
What?
beep.
Fucking beep.
Fucking beep. At the done.
I've already done that. I was in the car and I was fucking beeping at the same time.
Hey. But no, I could be doing Morse code. To be fair, I could be saying, "Please God, help me, get me out of here." But who knows? Or bring me another beer. My beer's down.
Beers down, beers down.
Beer down, beer down.
Quick, cancel the podcast.
Get a beer. To be fair, that was really nice.
I told you.
Yeah, I'll have another one then.
That's the only one we've got.
Fuck.
I told you. I did say bring beers. I
Well,
said
we're
I've got
going.
a few.
We're going to the pub.
No one
to be
told
fair.
me.
Should we go on to the cool wall then, lads?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, cool wall. Dan, do you want to get in to see this, mate?
Yes. Where are Powerpuff Girls?
It's still a tough subject. Yeah, I wouldn't say too much there, Adam. He will rip your fucking head off.
I'm
Right.
so glad Power Rangers was good enough to beat it.
Yes. So Power Rangers was our new number 17. Ooh, 17.
17. I thought you were going to say 7 there. I was like, really?
No, it wasn't that good. It was quite mediocre across the board.
So just to spill a little bit of information to the viewers and listeners. Whilst we were playing this, we were all kind of hinting at a top 5 place.
Yeah.
So this is going to be high. It's going to be.
Yeah.
So who wants to read out our top 5 and bottom 5?
Go on then,
Or
I'll
do
go
you just want to
for-
do top 5? Or what do you want to
Well, we
do?
might as well just do top. No, actually, let's include the bottom 5.
Yeah, I just want to
for
hear it one more time.
shits and giggles.
You're going to hear it a lot of times, Dan.
So top 5, we have GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, Warriors on PS2, Hercules on the PlayStation, Aladdin for the Mega Drive, and then at number 5, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on the PlayStation 3. So all pretty good games. As they were, there's their number. top
As
five.
they are on
Top
the
Yeah.
five.
bottom.
So our less than good games that we have bringing up the bottom 5. Let's start with. We've got
This is such a roundabout way.
Little Nicky on the what was it on
Game Boy Color.
Back to the Future Part 1 on the NES. The Crow on the PlayStation, Wayne's World on the Super Nintendo, and then number 5, very bottom of the pack. So, hence
fucking
the
twat.
worst game that anyone in this room has ever played. Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction.
For the
on
PlayStation 1. Can I just say, I kind of wanted to play The Crow again the other day. I really fancied getting drunk and playing The Crow.
Oh, no.
'Cause it's
That's
so
how
funny.
bad Powerpuff Girls.
But the Crow is so fucking
It's
funny.
so funny. It's so shit, but it's so funny. Anyway. Right, looking at this list, so we all think that it's going to be
Top 5.
so
I think so. I think I know where I want to put it.
I know where I want to
I
put
know
it.
where I want to put it.
Oh shit.
Fucking hell, lads. All right, go on then.
I'm
Who
going
wants to go first?
I'll go. Number 2.
Number 2,
Same
under
here.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, just purely for the fact, like you say, we've all played GoldenEye so much, and there's nostalgia value. I could go back and play it any time.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. It's going to take something stupidly fucking special to knock it off. And this game was close. It really was.
Yeah,
It-
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
for the atmosphere that it creates, I thought it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, number 2 for me.
Yeah. So.
Well,
And for all the same reasons.
this is the thing. I never played GoldenEye at the same age, and I wasn't here when we did GoldenEye on the podcast. I'd put it at number 1 because
Oh.
Thanks, Dan. I've got a fucking
I knew I wanted to get in before you did it. I was like,
son of a bitch.
I mean, GoldenEye wasn't as close to my heart as it was for you guys.
You know what? I'm going to put it at number...
You know, you say all this shit. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you because I'm about to fucking blow a fuse here. You're saying all this stuff about close to your heart.
Should
you
I
put
leave?
Powerpuff Girls at number 25.
Because that was shit.
It's close to my fucking heart.
I may have spiked that. I apologise.
Anyway, I think I'm going to go
You know.
number 2.
Of course.
Because...
I knew.
Listen. Wait. Because fuck you, Dan. No,
No,
I'm joking.
no.
No. Because GoldenEye had more replayability to it.
Yes.
Because you had each level had 3 different difficulty levels, and each one then had more objectives within the level. Right? You could then unlock stuff for multiplayer as well, and there was just so much. And you had all
multiplayer.
characters, you had levels, you had cheats.
Everything fucking exploded.
Everything blew up. This one, only a few crates blew up.
Yeah, not.
You can blow up the blue ones.
Yeah. So
I completely understand where you're coming from.
I think because of that, I think GoldenEye is more replayable than.
And 3 years earlier.
Yes,
I think-
yeah.
I think
Got to
giving
take that
GoldenEye
into
another
account.
3 years to develop. If GoldenEye had the same control system as Alien Resurrection, how amazing would GoldenEye be?
We'd probably all still play it to this
Yeah.
day. It's only because the N64 is so horrible to play,
Yeah,
like a
that-
first-person
Yeah.
shooter. Right.
So, yeah.
And
So number 2.
yeah,
Cool.
Which leads us on to the eternal question, the question for which our namesake is thus: is it a cash grab?
Who wants to go first? I know what my answer is.
I know.
But I'm going to let someone else take the lead. Tom.
I have to admit, I didn't want to go first because I've given it no thought.
I would go first then.
So maybe so maybe someone else should go first, so I can actually think about the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah, what we're supposed to be thinking about the whole time we're playing the game.
Yeah, I really didn't. Yeah, go ahead, someone.
It's not a cash grab, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They could have released it at the same year that the movie came out in a third-person game that probably would have been quite good, and they could have smashed it out and got great sales. Instead, they scrapped the whole third-person thing, went for something innovative, first-person, great control system, atmosphere to the fucking bat knackies.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
They fucking took
Was
3
that on the
years
back
out.
of the box?
And I tell you what, it didn't. It was saying they didn't release this on the Nintendo 64 and the Dreamcast or something because the sales weren't quite as good. If they had released it the same year the film came out, their sales would have been better. But
Yeah,
they
and
took more
they
time.
would have known that.
Yeah, 100% they would have known that, and they took more time, made it an absolutely fucking brilliant game ahead of its time.
Because I'm assuming that nothing Alien released around this time. Because GoldenEye obviously got held back, but then they released it with the next James Bond film
Yeah.
to like whilst the hype was there, release the game, get more money, which valid. But I'm assuming Nothing Aliens was released at this time to like, because this was the fourth one for like, this was the final Alien film for a long time.
Yeah, until like Prometheus.
Before-
came along.
Was it Prometheus? Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yes.
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Well, Alien vs Predator was before Prometheus, so like that kind of
It was
bring
a
back
spin-off.
Alien, but like
Yeah.
that was in 2000 and something.
Yeah.
So unless Alien vs Predator was around this time,
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it was
like
2000.
2006 or 2007.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit earlier. I think maybe
my
2004.
phone's died.
Oh no.
Rather than be used by me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree. I wouldn't see it as a cash grab. I wouldn't. A lot of love thing to
Yeah,
go into it.
2004 for Alien vs Predator.
Wow.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Yeah. For well, everything Adam said,
Yeah.
it's not a cash grab.
Yeah, same.
Fucking nailed it.
How did he know?
How did he do
Well
it?
done, Adam.
Well, that's, to be honest, when we said we were going to do Alien Resurrection, I didn't expect to end up with a number 2
No.
non-cash grab,
No.
especially watching the film.
Oh God.
Oh
But
god.
I think we have to say, this is the most contrasting episode we've had between such a bad movie and such a great game, or vice versa. This has been the biggest contrast we've had.
Yeah.
Because if we were rating the films
trying
on a
to-
cool wall as well, this would be pretty low down.
Yes.
And this game is right at the top. This is one of the biggest contrasts we've had.
I mean, Action Man was pretty.
Action Man was, that was pretty contrast, yeah.
Yeah. But even then, the
wait.
game wasn't like.
I
No,
quite
it's-
enjoyed The Crow the movie. So
I think for some people, it's a
I
good
think,
movie.
I think, I think the first 15 minutes of The Crow is pretty decent. And then you have a shop owner saying, fuck my ass, fuck my ass.
Fuck my ass.
While
fuck my
explosions
ass.
happen for no reason. And you kind of think to yourself,
It's probably not
it's
TV
lost its
Gold.
way. TV Gold. But no, I thought Action Man was the best comedy I've seen in many years.
No, that was Power Rangers, mate. That was fucking hilarious.
Power Rangers is... Wait.
That was the funniest thing
Oh,
I've
Power
seen.
Rangers was fucking
That was
brilliant.
so funny. Anyway, should we call it there?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So, thank you very much for watching episode 26. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
Episode 26 of Cash Grab. I
You
forgot the
forgot our
fucking
name. It's been
Yeah,
a long day.
thanks for watching. Yeah, be sure to subscribe, follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and hit us up at Twitter and Instagram at Cash Grab Podcast. And we have an email too. I'm not going to keep talking about the email. No one's ever going to get in contact. It's fucking pointless. It wastes a lot of time. So we have an email. You can find it in places. Done. And we'll
Cool.
catch you in episode 27.
Woo! See ya.
bye.
Bye.